So most men want to be lean, fit, hybrid trained, do it all, be capable of being better, but they're getting advice from Barley boys who haven't got a clue that you've got responsibilities outside of fitness, or your local bodybuilder who just thinks that eating fish and a rice cake is the only thing that you should be doing. So in this video, I'm going to be walking you through the 2 strategies that I use myself personally and inside the Hybrid Project to our simple nutrition system and our simple hybrid training system as well. So welcome to episode 3 of this mini series. Let's get straight into it. So as I said, most men want to look strong, be lean, be capable, but get their advice from the wrong people. They're either Barley Boy influencers or full-time bodybuilders. And as I said in the previous video, is that what you do now is not what you should be. It's not what you did when you were 20 years old. Something has to change. And if you're getting your advice from these guys, you're in the wrong game. So they're not getting them from real men who have families, responsibilities, and businesses, because let's be honest, as I said in the last video, when you're adults and things get busy, all of these things have to be factored in. You can't just drop these things to get fit. You can't just drop your family in order to run a marathon. You can't just do all of these things. So you have to add in these responsibilities, understand that we have to balance this a little bit better than what we might have done previously. So this has allowed me to be 95 kilos, 12% body fat, 5K sub 20, a half marathon at 1:38, and a marathon at 3:24, all while running a business and having a family. So it works for me and it works for my clients, which I'll show you in the bottom of this video as well. So the 2 strategies that we're going to be walking through today are pretty simple. I'm a pretty simple guy. So we've got the hybrid nutrition system, which is all about, the hybrid training system, which is all about the 3 components that we use inside of our training ecosystem. And then we've also got the hybrid nutrition system, a simple strategy that I've coined that helps me and my clients not overwhelm ourselves with nutrition, still move the dial forward, but not putting so much focus into tracking food all the time, or meal plans all the time, or saying no to meals, or missing out on family events and all that sort of stuff. So we're going to be breaking them 2 things down in this video. So let's start like why men fail at trying to balance both lifting and running and nutrition all at the same time. And it usually comes down to these factors. Number 1 is that they overtrain. They try and do 100% of bodybuilding and 100% of running and 100% of Hyrox and find themselves burning out because no one's got that capacity. So instead of trying to do 100% of everything, we need to be smarter with how we do our training. Number 2 is that they focus too much on bodybuilding splits. Hands in the air, you've done the bro split. Chest on a Monday, shoulders on a Tuesday, back on a Wednesday, legs on a Thursday, arms on a Friday, and then repeat. It's just not the most optimal way of doing things. We want to be making sure that we're getting into our frequency, we're getting through our muscle groups, etc., which I'll come on to in a second. Confusing diets, intermittent fasting. Should I do this? Should I do carnivore? Should I do keto? That's bad for me. That's good for me. There's so much noise out there on the interweb. It's very easy to get overwhelmed. So what we do with the hybrid nutrition system is we keep it really, really simple, and we think about the big rocks that are going to move the needle forward, and we forget about everything else. Because again, you've only got so much capacity and don't want to add any more stuff to your plate. And then number 4 is you struggle to juggle everything with real life. So when people think that they have to hybrid train just because your favorite influencer is training 6, 7, even 14 times a week, you feel like in order to do that, you have to do that yourself. But this is simply not the case. We can do this in 3 to 5 hours of training per week. And I'm going to walk you through exactly what I would do if I was in your position to do this as well. So this is exactly how the training system looks. We break it down into 3 different components. We've got our strength session, our running section, and then we've got our conditioning section, blah, blah, blah. So let's go through the strength element first. Disclaimer, strength is at the forefront of anything that you want to do. It's the thing that's going to develop your physique. It's the thing that's going to make you stronger. It's the thing that's going to make you look good. It's the thing that's going to help you for the longevity as well. So we always center your training around strength. Just because you see all these, again, influencers who are already in shape from bodybuilding, from strength training, transition into hybrid training, is that they didn't get jacked from running marathons. They got jacked from doing strength work, which is what is super important. So a nice way that I do this, again, my clients do this, is we center it around 2 to 3 full body sessions per week, because frequency of muscle groups is super, super important. Instead of smashing your chest on a Monday and then being sore all week and getting no volume until the next Monday, we want to spread the load throughout the week so that you're getting frequency in there, you're hitting it with good intensity, and you recover well enough as well. So we do that through compound lifts, so big squats, big pulls, even hack squats, leg presses, shoulder presses, all the big movements that are going to do a lot of the heavy lifting. around that 6 to 10 rep range, we center our training around that. But a lot of them are pretty taxing, so they're like a minority of what we do. One big centralized lift, and then we base everything off the back of that. Then we add in some functional supersets. So this is where you get your dumbbells in there, you get your cables in there, pull-ups, press-ups, lunges, sit-ups, etc. There is some supersets to help you, A, get more intensity in your sessions, but B, help you with time efficiency as well. No sessions should be longer than 60 minutes. I just don't see the point. We've all got places to be, people to see, things to do. Sessions should be around 45 to 60 minutes, and you can get a lot of quality work done in that time frame as opposed to just quantity of work. So functional supersets around them areas. And then we usually finish the sets with like high rep stuff, such as, arms, 12, 15, 20. You could do drop sets, supersets, etc. Just to get a little bit more of a pump style strength in there as well. Because let's be honest, lateral raises, bicep curls, tricep extensions are what's going to develop your physique the way that you want to. So I'll come on to the other part of the session in the conditioning bit as well. So the other element towards the hybrid training system is usually running, because running, in my opinion, has absolutely changed my life. I started running in 2020, lockdown. I ran my first half marathon in 2.5 hours, and then I ran my first marathon in 2022. And from that point, from 2022 to 2025, I've done 5 marathons, loads of half marathons, 10K, and I've run consistently every single week. And it's made me fitter, it's made me a better person, it's helped me headspace more, and I generally just feel a lot better compared to the previous 10 years of just strength training, looking good, but not really feeling good. So running's been an absolute game changer for me. And the way that we do this is that obviously depending on the goal, but for most people, we try and get around 2 runs in there a week. Number 1 is an easy one. And what we mean by an easy one is a low intensity run. So zone 2 heart rate, just spending time on feet, using fat as a fuel source. And then number 2 is intervals. So a little bit of speed work, whether it is intervals on a track, maybe that's tempo work, maybe it's just a little bit of a faster run, just to start attacking them faster paces in order to get them higher intensity, or then higher efforts, higher zones, and then lower zones. So we're getting a mixture of both across the board, basically, because that then sets you up with conditioning as well. So the conditioning is like the third piece of the puzzle, in my opinion. Adding a little bit of egg work in there, or some sleds, or maybe finishing your session with a 10 or 15 minute and wrap as many rounds as possible with a few different exercises. It's going to help you build capacity, elevate that heart rate, get fitter, get a better cardiovascular system, but also enjoy your training as well. So as I said at the start of the video, this is for guys who want to do it all. You want to be able to do a 10K when asked. You want to be able to go and do 10 pull-ups when asked. You want to be able to go and get signed up to a Hyrox and not shit the bed because they don't feel fit enough. That's exactly what we're trying to do. And I do that through these three elements. So strength training, running, and then conditioning as the sort of the cherry on the top. So the common question that I always get asked, or you're probably thinking as well, is, well, doesn't running kill your gains? Well, actual fact, no, because running makes you fitter, it makes you sharper, and it makes you more efficient. As I said earlier, I went through 8-10 years of strength training. I deadlifted 260 kilos, I was 100 odd kilos, I was jacked, but I couldn't ski on the ski egg for like more than 100 meters, or I couldn't jump on a road, I was having a sore back, or, if you'd asked me to run at 5K, I couldn't do it. Whereas since I've been running and adding that into the mixture, it's allowing me sessions to be a lot better. I'm fitter, so I can recover between sets more, which allows me to do more work. And them supersets aren't as taxing anymore. And it makes you more efficient. And if you are training as a strength as a forefront and a high protein diet, you will not lose your gains. You'll actually look better, perform better, while adding running into your program as well. So no, it makes you fitter, it makes you sharper, and it makes you more efficient. So that's like the training side of things. As I said, we can go as in depth as we want with that, but realistically, that's a great base for people who are looking for a hybrid training split, who are looking to, balance running and lifting without, spending 14 hours in the gym per week, which again, most influencers do because it is their job. So let's move on to the hybrid nutrition system. I think this is one of the areas that most guys do struggle with. Most people in general is their nutrition. So whether you are in a fat loss phase or you're wanting to gain muscle tissue or whatever, nutrition is the thing that usually is the hardest thing to crack. Whereas my job and what I've done over the last 5 years of using this system is make it really, really simple. Whereas now I only track food when I really want to turn the dial up like really efficiently, but right now I can hold my weight around the same weight and I can drop a couple of kg just by focusing on this without even worrying about my nutrition. So it allows for flexibility, structure, but not rigidity. and it allows for flexibility, but not all you can eat. Because the way that I see things is that people either choose these two methods. They either go the really flexible route, which is tracking food, open-ended, MyFitnessPal, full diary of any food is you can have whatever you want if it fits your macros, etc. Or you've got the other end of the spectrum, which is like strict meal plan. Only eat these meals, only eat at this portion size, only eat at this time, skip this, skip that. Whereas both of them on their own do not work because one's got too much flexibility and one's got too much rigidity. Whereas this system sort of is the middleman between the both of them. And the way that we do this, and the reason we call it the hybrid nutrition system is because most men are busy. I said earlier, the last thing that we want to do is overcomplicate the process. So realistically, for most guys, this is a generalization. Again, we can go more in depth if you're a white client, but most guys work between 9 and 5. They are in control of their nutrition. They take food to work or they buy food in work. So we want to try and keep them 2 meals pretty much the same because it's another thing that you don't have to think about. Once you find a decent high protein breakfast and a decent high protein lunch, you can just rotate between them 2 meals as often as you need. Realistically, we don't need that much variety. Like I know right now, my first meal at the moment is overnight oats or, protein oats, so protein oats, a little bit of Biscoff, some fruit, or an egg dish. So it could be poached egg, scrambled egg, fried egg. It could be an omelette on some toast. They're my 2 staple breakfasts, and that doesn't have to change very frequently. I said, can I change variety in that? 100%. I can have poached one day, and maybe have chicken sausages to the mix one day. I can have scrambled one day. I can have overnight oats with this protein one day. I can have that fruit another day. There's so much variety in just them 2 meals alone. We don't need to deviate any further outside of that because, again, the more overwhelm you add to your plate, you're just going to set yourself up for failure. And the same with meal 2. So find a meal that suits you. And again, it could be something that you take to work or it could be something that you buy. Obviously, if you take it to work and it's pre-planned, it means that you're probably in a little bit more control. But it doesn't mean that's the only way of doing things. If you eat out a lot or, you go to Subway and dinner, what's the best option? If you go to Tesco for a meal deal, what's the best option? There's always things that we can do without being perfect. And then that leaves the meal 3 to be flexible because the last thing that you want to do is have to cook a meal for the missus, a meal for yourself, and a meal for the kids. Because let's be honest, the kids in your meal are probably different anyway because kids are fussy. So you don't have to make 3 meals in the even time. Again, adds more complexity to this whole situation. You want it to be flexible so that you can say yes to the family meal, but then maybe you can help make that meal a little better, control the portion sizes, center around protein, maybe lighter options, so low calorie spread instead of oil, no butter, etc. Be flexible with that, but you should be absolutely fine to hit that meal if these 2 meals are in the right position. So this is what the hybrid nutrition system is all about. Making things simple, but not being super perfectionist about it all as well. And this is what's allowed, Bash here, for example, to lose, I think it was over 10 kilos at this point for his wedding. And as of today, there's literally a screenshot from this morning. He's just nailed a sub 20-minute 5K. So Bash is absolutely killing it. Lean as he's been, strong as he's been, fast as he's been, and he's about to embark on a Hyrox in 2 weeks time, which I'm looking forward to seeing him absolutely PB. So this absolutely works. And on this side, we've got Josh, who I met up for a meal on Friday. Believe it or not, he has lost over 50 kg from 50 kilometers, soon to be done 50 kilometers, 50 kilograms, and he is down more than that. Is actually 51 as of this morning, and he now runs half marathons for a living. So came home to Liverpool, ran the Liverpool half marathon, set a benchmark. Now we're going on to Lisbon in 7 weeks time to break 2-hour mark in the half marathon, and he's absolutely nailed it. So as I said at the bottom of this page, this shit works, like not just for me, for hundreds of guys who have helped as well. And again, I can share so many people and the results that this has helped, but these 2 have picked out because I met them both at the weekend while I was down in London. So hope that helps. Hope that resonates with you. There's a couple of things that you can go from here. If you're interested in understanding a little bit more about what I do and you want to work directly with me on this, then DM me project on Instagram and I'll send you a full breakdown of everything that we do, cost included. If you want some supplements, Applied Nutrition, Hybrid has this discount code. And then if you want some more tips, head over to my emails. I'll send you 21 hybrid tips over the next 21 days to help you even more on your journey. So that was episode 3 of the mini series, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.